Tonight on the Northwestern News Report,
So we might have to close 1 day because
Evanston businesses are still coping with staffing shortages. What it means for your local favorites.
After 2 years, the country's largest student-produced musical is back. We take you behind the scenes just days before the curtain rises on the Dolphin Show.
And later, it's beginning to feel a lot like an Evanston winter.
What's your secret to surviving an Evanston winter?
A good coat.
After 5 inches of snow in the past 2 days, we asked students for their tips for keeping warm. Those stories and more tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news
Right now.
Hello and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Bridget Aduwadier.
And I'm Andrew Owen. We start once again tonight with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. A grim milestone on Friday here in Cook County, 14,000 deaths from COVID-19. That's according to the medical examiner's office. There was 425 deaths the week of January 10th alone, the highest total since November 2020.
A less bleak picture back here on campus. 229 new positive cases at Northwestern last week, a positivity rate of 2.01%, both numbers down from the prior 2 weeks. And 1 week ago today, Wildcats went back to the classroom for the first time this quarter, but students are still demanding alternative options. Maria Heim joins us now from a very popular spot, Norris University Center. Maria, what can you tell us?
Hi, Bridget. Here in Norris, you can see students behind me studying and preparing for midterm season. However, not all think we should be in classrooms in the first place.
I'm excited that we're back in person.
I'm very thankful that we have this opportunity. And for me, it's just a whole lot more fun than the alternative.
Yet some still questioning the university's choice.
The university has not done that good of a job.
229 positive cases in the first week back in person.
I'm personally a student who, based on my own health needs, I'm not fully comfortable returning to in-person classes right now.
Professors also making their own decisions.
My math class is still on Zoom. I think due to professor preferences.
Associated Student Government passed legislation last Wednesday asking administration for a hybrid option, not only for students not comfortable attending in-person classes, but also for those with COVID. Some students signing a petition asking for classes to be online until numbers decline.
The lack of understanding and the lack of knowing what would happen if you did have to miss 1 or 2 weeks of classes is causing a lot of stress among the student body.
The university did not respond to NNN's request for comment about the legislation, but Provost Kathleen Haggerty cited mitigation efforts in a letter to student petitioners saying, quote, "We are confident in our return to in-person classes." Back in classrooms, some feel the university is fast-tracking the return to in-person activity.
Actually try to promote a safe environment during a pandemic as opposed to being tired of it after 2 years and wanting to force a normalcy that we can't force yet.
From empty halls to packed classrooms.
Bridget, this is the first week since Wildcat Wellness that students don't need to receive a COVID test on site. We'll see how those COVID numbers look on next week's show.
Thanks, Maria.
A Wisconsin student made racist anti-Asian gestures towards Northwestern students at the men's basketball game between the two Big Ten schools last week. Northwestern's Vice President for Athletics and Recreation, Derek Gregg, said in a letter Friday, quote, "I am disheartened our fans and members of our community had to experience this type of hatred in one of our venues. The actions were unacceptable and a violation of university values and our fan code of conduct." Northwestern and Wisconsin's athletic departments say they've identified the individual and say he has been banned from all sporting events at both universities. University of Wisconsin said he is not a current student or employee.
If you are a high school student who was frustrated with the SAT, you're going to want to listen up. The College Board is making changes. First, get rid of the number 2 pencils. The test will be conducted online. The College Board says the new test will be shortened from 3 hours to 2, feature shorter reading passages, and permit calculator use on the entire math section. You'll also receive your scores a few days after you take your test. The test comes as many schools, including Northwestern, continue to be test optional for the admission cycle. 2.2 million students in the class of 2020 took the test at least once, but only 1.5 million in the class of 2020 took the test at least once. A new test will start online in the U.S. in 2024.
The December jobs report shows unemployment rates have dropped from 4.2 to 3.9%, but as NNN's Caitlin Bender-Thomas reports, Evanston businesses are still struggling to find staff.
From Sherman Avenue to Church Street and up to Central, local restaurants are on the hunt for employees during year 2 of the pandemic.
I myself cannot handle all this.
The owner of Pinso Thai, Charchangkol Yadrak An, has already closed the dining room on Saturdays and Sundays due to labor shortages and says that might not be enough.
We have to consider closing one day, so we might have to close one day because
the Chicago North Shore Convention and Visitors Bureau's employment site has over 15 job postings for Evanston restaurants alone. Yadrak Ann says it has been hard to get workers, despite marketing.
Advertise, we've been asking about.
Receiving applicants hasn't been a problem for Andrew O., General Manager and Director of Operations at 10 Cube Chicken, but finding good candidates has.
The previous pool of what used to be the skilled, experienced laborers, the workers, it's not there anymore.
Owner of Vietnam Nam, Alan Moy, has started offering incentives for new hires.
New incentives for our employee referral program, signing bonuses, all things that are unprecedented.
Moy says local businesses and the community must work together to get through the hardships of the pandemic.
To have empathy for each other.
Navigating a trying time. Caitlin Bender-Thomas, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Caitlin. A list of job opportunities in the Evanston area can be found online at the Chicago North Shore Convention and Visitor Bureau's employment site. Well, coming up, grab a cup of joe and head to a new art gallery opened by the owners of Coffee Lab and Roasters. We'll tell you what it's all about.
And a beloved figure in the Student Enrichment Services office bids farewell. We'll be back right after this.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The Evanston City Council Monday voted 8-0 in favor of a resolution requiring council members to be vaccinated against COVID-19 or receive a negative test in the 24 hours prior to council meetings. The resolution from Mayor Daniel Biss comes as the city plans to meet in person during their next meeting on February 14th. Some council members in favor of the measure pointed out city employees have been following similar rules since last October.
I think it's important for city council members to follow the same rules that our staff and the rules that we want to set for other folks. So I think this makes sense.
According to a survey from Evanston Roundtable in November, before booster shots became available, 8 of 10 members of the city council had been vaccinated. The other 2 declined to respond. Bridget?
Thanks, Andrew. The city of Evanston received a sustainability award for a new water pumping system 2 weeks ago, part of a larger push to better protect the environment. NNN's Melina Halkia has the story.
The City of Evanston won the Envision Sustainability Award for the construction of a new eco-friendly water storage on Northwestern property. Named the Clearwell 9 Replacement Project, it replaced a 5 million gallon drinking water reservoir with a new pumping system of higher water quality. The $20 million facility will provide clean and reliable water
to 9 communities in the area, to almost 500,000 people.
The original water storage system was built in 1934. After decades of deterioration, the city decided to replace it. Construction began in 2019, and the project was completed early 2021. A new green space was then built on top of the Northwestern parking lot on Lincoln Street.
All of our construction work is going to have as small of an impact to the environment as possible.
The project increased sustainability by protecting water supply from contamination and lowering energy use.
The final configuration of the reservoir long-term really saved in operation, maintenance, and electric costs.
Construction of the reservoir also recycled materials and protected nearby wetlands. The Institute for Sustainable Infrastructure also saw the city's dedication to protect the environment.
The city of Evanston's policies and commitments around taking strong action to combat climate change.
Just like how it converted this parking lot into a green space, the City of Evanston has a long-standing commitment to sustainability and will continue to try and find ways to improve our community, especially through the Climate Action and Resiliency Plan. Melina Halkia, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Melina. Now, have you ever tried browsing art while sipping coffee? The owners of student favorite Coffee Lab and Roasters are giving the combination a try. NNN's Lily Wolfson has the story.
Evanstonians are referring to this area of the city as the Prairie Avenue Arts Corridor due to 3 galleries opening up here at once, including Prairie Avenue Gallery.
My goal for this gallery is to strengthen the already existing community that is here in Evanston.
Daniel Aquino owns Coffee Lab and Roasters, a popular morning spot and a place where local artists showed their work during the pandemic. Now, Aquino and his business partner, Jason Kim, are running an entire gallery to support those same artists.
This was more in celebration of Evanston and Evanston's loyalty to small businesses, and also to the very active arts community here in Evanston.
Though Aquino says they're just getting started,
we've had a lot of community support, especially from the local artists who are here in this business.
Local artist Geraldine Martinez-Benz says she always planned on selling merchandise and art, and when Aquino offered her the chance,
it's a huge opportunity for me. I just had to grab it. It's a wonderful opportunity for artists.
From coffee to the canvas, Lily Wolfson, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Lily. The gallery says it plans to work with local nonprofits to connect with artists and has already shown 7 artists' work.
Back here on campus, Northwestern Student Enrichment Services Office founding director Courtney Cockrell saying goodbye after 7 years. I spoke with her about her impact on the university's first-generation low-income students. From the Student Enrichment Services Office, to the Black House, to Norris, many Northwestern students knew you could find Courtney Cockrell's friendly face across campus. But not anymore. Today, her time as Director of Student Enrichment Services came to an end.
I see myself in the student so much. It's such an inspiration.
Cockrell helped start Student Enrichment Services to give first-generation low-income Northwestern students a safe space and access to resources. She helped students every step of the way during their Northwestern experience.
She got me into contact with a bunch of people from housing and everything, and they actually ended up getting me a replacement key without me, having to pay $200.
Some students say they felt empowered after each conversation.
Even if you feel like what you're nervous or upset about isn't important, she makes it feel like it is important.
With memories of her as
very friendly, always had a smile on her face.
Rocha says he's concerned students won't have as strong of a support system without Cockrell.
I'm just anxious or nervous, what things will look like in the future, who they will hire in her place.
Cockrell says her goal has been to advocate for students.
I want to see our curriculum and our faculty and classroom experience to also change and to be much more welcoming and inclusive.
Friday, Cockrell gathered with students here in the Black House, exchanging hugs and well wishes with someone who remains special at NU. Bridget Aduwadier, Northwestern News Network.
Lots of layers. Ooh, multiple layers. So cold outside, but then...
Coming up, how do NU students brave the Evanston winter? We asked you in this week's edition of Rock Talk.
Coming in the forecast, don't put those layers away just yet. More cold is on the way. I've got your details in the 7-day forecast coming up after this break.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know. Come alive with the forest. The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
Practice makes perfect. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back. Take a look at this shot of Evanston campus covered in snow on Sunday. It was a snow-filled past few days, but what does the coming week have in store for students? NNN's Matthew Vega has your weather report.
The second week of in-person classes should be exactly the kind of weather you would expect from Evanston in the winter, that being extremely cold. Surprisingly, it should be very sunny this week, as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday should all have mostly clear skies. Unfortunately, the temperature didn't quite get the memo, as the temperature ranges from the lower 30s on some days to the lower 10s on others. Tomorrow, for example, will have clear skies, but the temperature should be in the negatives in the morning, and then slowly trailing into the low 10s in the afternoon. This weather alone would be difficult to deal with, but because of the 9 to 18 mile per hour winds, it should feel like it's in the negatives the entire day, so be sure to bundle up. Thursday and Friday will be more cloudy, but expect a lot of snowfall on Friday. The sun makes an appearance this Saturday, as we're expecting a high of 21 and a low of 5 degrees Fahrenheit. As school returns back to normal, the weather joins us too. I'm Matt Vega, and this was your 7-day forecast. I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Matt. Stay warm. NU students are no strangers, of course, though, to whipping winds and temps in the teens. So how do we do it? In this week's Rock Talk, our own Ellie Skelly braved the cold and asked students for their tips on staying warm.
This week for Rock Talk, we're asking Northwestern students what their secret to surviving in Evanston winter is.
Rock Talk.
What's your secret to surviving in Evanston winter?
Ooh, I don't know. You don't.
Walking quickly
Oh, I live here, girl.
I would just say gloves, because as a Texan with my iced coffee, I just gotta make sure I have my gloves on.
Layers. And then also going out to eat, because even though you're out in the cold, you have something to look forward to. So, what's your secret to surviving in Evanston winter?
A good coat. How do I survive? A lot of Carmex.
Lots of layers.
Ooh, multiple layers.
So cold outside, but that's so warm inside. That's the big thing they don't tell you about. You're gonna be sweating once you're in class.
The Northwestern students spoke, and the results are in. Make sure you layer up, have a good coat, and walk fast. For the Northwestern News Network, I'm Ellie Skelly.
I can't believe Ellie is not wearing a hat outside. It's so cold. Bridget, how are you staying warm this week?
For me, I really like to keep my mask on. It helps keep my face warm, and I also really love having a hot cup of coffee in my hand.
Yes, it's like a built-in hand warmer. Perfect. Well, now we're going to go from ice to fire. A startup here at Northwestern is growing their impact and trying to prevent the damaging effects of climate change with the help of the garage.
Michaela Denault has the story.
InfernoGuard, a student-run startup, collects environmental data such as air quality and temperature through a device attached to a tree to alert of a possible wildfire.
The ultimate goal is to just minimize the wildfire risk and the worry that these landowners have.
Started in 2016 by high school students, including current Northwestern sophomore Kevin Casper, the company is growing with team members across many universities. Ben Gardner, a Northwestern sophomore, joined because of wildfires' impacts in his home state.
I am from Washington, and over the past 5 years, I've seen the wildfire epidemic just exponentially increase.
Assessing risk on properties, they place the device where it can detect and report hazards to the client.
My goals are to make this device as sustainable and low cost as possible so it can be deployed widely.
InfernoGuard has already partnered with Yosemite National Park and O'Neill Pine Company, yet they still have many ideas they want to ignite here at the garage.
We hope we will eventually be able to predict the wildfire.
Northwestern, along with other universities, are helping them along the way.
Northwestern's done a great job just having an open network where not only can we ask garage individuals for help and advice, but we can also go to professors in entrepreneurship.
Protecting the environment and livelihoods before it's too late. Michaela Denault, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Michaela. InfernoGuard is finishing a full beta prototype for testing by February 15th.
Coming up, the Dolphin Show is back after a 2-year hiatus. NNN has a behind-the-curtain look. Up next.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back. The country's largest student-produced musical is coming to a theater near you.
The Dolphin Show at Northwestern takes the stage for 3 shows at Kahn Auditorium this weekend.
NNN's Logan Schijano takes us behind the scenes.
After 2 years gone, the Dolphin Show is back in Cannes, and this year it's performing Merrily We Roll Along.
Merrily We Roll Along is the story of these 3 old friends named Frank, Mary, and Charlie for 19 years of their lives, tracking their friendship and all of the big decisions that they make, like personally and professionally.
For the Dolphin team, the plot hits home.
At its core, it reminds us that the relationships we're making here on campus and at the university are relationships that can endure for the rest of our lives.
From the cast to the crew, this year's production involves over 150 students and has been months in the making.
It's been on my mind almost constantly.
A $75,000 operation, fundraising, and local outreach are major components to the show's success.
We're super excited to be partnering with lots of different Evanston restaurants. Students who are going to the Dolphin Show can present their ticket at the restaurants and receive a different discount at each restaurant.
Because of Wildcat Wellness, the cast lost 2 weeks of in-person rehearsal, and the crew started building this set a week later than expected. The Dolphin Show also had to cancel 3 performances that were set to go on this stage last weekend.
Wildcat Wellness was like a real curveball in our planning. Definitely this is sort of a pedal to the metal kind of week for us. We are going to be spending quite a bit of time in this building.
But Geffen says it will be time well spent for her team and the audience.
I don't think any group of students has ever been more excited to do a show. There's like an incredible amount of passion and energy that you will for sure be able to sense from the audience.
Restoring tradition while merrily rolling with the punches. Logan Schijano, Northwestern News Network.
It's not too late for students to buy their tickets. You can go to nudolphinshow.org for more information or scan the QR code on your screen.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Andrew Rowan.
And I'm Bridget Adu-Wadier. Be sure to follow us on our socials. We're at NNN_news.
On behalf of all of us at the Northwestern News Network, thank you for watching.
Good night.